This is a very important year in the world. We are marking the 80th anniversary of the UN Charter. The UN Charter, which was enacted so that the horrors of the Second World War, which was fought on the front lines in Europe, Africa, Asia, everywhere, the Americas, and resulted in hundreds of millions of deaths, that this should never repeat. Unfortunately, in our time, we have seen the world starting to drift astray from this vision, and this is why it is increasingly important that we gather around those principles which were enshrined 8 decades ago. My impression from today's discussions is that we both are very, very committed to the vision which was laid decades ago by our predecessors and to which our country stayed loyal, but we are also in this time prepared to raise our voice for peace and to stand up for peace. And I'm not afraid to say in front of anyone that Serbia is for peace in Ukraine. Serbia is for peace in the Middle East. Serbia is for peace in various parts of Africa. Serbia is for peace as a principle and for the respect of the UN Charter. In a time in which small and medium-sized countries are being pressured to take sides, we refuse to accept and to give in to pressure to abandon the principles of international public law. International public law is the only protector and guarantor that our countries will not suffer the same destiny as some of the countries that have been engulfed in the turmoil currently. We believe in the role of the United Nations, even if not everyone in our age does, and we support the reform of the United Nations so that Africa has a greater say at the UN Security Council and in other bodies. So I believe that on multilateral front, we have many, many things that we share. And we are also immensely grateful, again, to the people and the government of Ghana for supporting international law in our region, because our region is also a region which 3 decades ago went through a very difficult civil war, breakup of former Yugoslavia, and so forth. But now, I believe that Southeastern Europe and the Balkans region can turn very quickly into the leading growth area of Europe. I come from a country which has more than doubled the size of its GDP in less than a decade. And even this year, our growth rate will be at least 3.5%. And this is not something that should be taken for granted. It is a result of precisely President Vučić going for a policy of stability, good neighborly cooperation, and creating an open Balkans. That is the vision of President Vučić. And we have, as a result, already created a single labor market with some of the countries in our region and are working to integrate even more.